So we have the Jollies and the Mays joining us today, and I know Mason's going to tell me to lean back in my seat, and so let me do it before he tells me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. If you were dating in the environment today with the plethora of television, entertainment, the Kardashians, if it feels good, if you were dating, not in the period when you were dating and got married, you 46 years, you've been married now, 35 years, would you be a different person? Would you have a different concept and perspective of marriage? And do you think the marriage could be as strong as it is as you fast forward to today? Dee Dee.
I would be very different because my environment would have been very different. I have a problem with today because everything is so loose, and we say to our son, who is local and an attorney and dating lots of wonderful professional women, aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of not having a significant other, somebody you want to commit to, have a permanent relationship with, marry?
Willie, let's fast forward
Yes.
to what attracted you to your wife in the day versus what attracts you to your wife today. How that has changed.
I don't think it's changed that much. She was smart. That was first. My mama told me, when you get married, make sure you marry a smart woman. Don't marry no dumb woman, because there'll be misery. And she was right. Second thing about her is that she was not chasing me. So one of the things, I had women who I was looking at, dating or whatever, they were all chasing me. She wasn't chasing me. So what we talk about in the book, chapter number 1, friends first. That's the first thing that we talk about in successful marriage, is friends first. And that's what we are. We're best friends then and best friends now. Second, that we made God an equal part of our marriage. It's like a triangle. She has one corner, I have a corner, and then God gets the top. And so everything filters through. He's our partner in this. And so we made a commitment, for better, for worse, for rich, for poor, in sickness and in health. And I told her when we got married that I'm staying to that vow, and that if she ever wants to get out of it, there's a way out. She can die. And if she dies, she good. Other than that, we here for life. And so I'm still grateful. I'm still honored. And she's my best friend. And 33 years, we haven't had an argument, and we've been married 35 years. And we're still like newlyweds. We have a date night, have fun. We have a date night every week, even though the kids are grown and gone. Every week we establish a date night. We tell married couples in the book, in our seminars, that you need to make sure to have a date night, even if you have no money. Have a date night every solid
We had
week.
no money.
We didn't have any money. We had to raise kids. They were in Christian school. Every penny was going to mortgage or education. But we had a date night with Jiffy Pop popcorn, 99 cents, and we put it on a stove, and that was our, at 9 o'clock on Thursday night, we'd watch television, and that was our date night.
People use a lot of words in marriage, trust and love, but I want you to really explain just the depth of the word trust. It's not as simple as people think it is. Dee.
How do you know what trust is? It doesn't matter what goes on. I know that he will be there to protect and to support me. Now, where does that come from? Because he's had a history of keeping his word. He's had a history of being trustworthy. I can take it to the bank. And so you build that over time. Oh, okay, if I live with your mother in her attic for a year, we'll buy a house?
I promise you we'll buy a house.
Okay.
You live with my mama in our attic, we save that money, I promise you we'll buy a house.
Okay.
What about trusting him when part of you and your friends and everybody around you don't want to believe him?
I never had that issue. I
Never
was
had-
always a loner,
Okay.
okay? I sought my own counsel, Christ, and my parents. So I never had that issue. And I've
So you don't allow
always been
people in the
self-confident.
meddle in
Absolutely
your
not.
marriage?
That's part of the problem with social media today. Why would you allow someone else to tell you who you are?
That
So
could
if
be
you
fueled by
don't-
jealousy, envy,
Yes.
because they don't have what you have, and it plays out in different
So
ways.
then that says that there's some issues that you need to work on within yourself to build your own self-esteem.
Chapter number 5. Leave the drama with your mama. Leave the drama with your mama. All that drama, leave it with your mama. And all of those people who are outside influences impacting your marriage, leave that somewhere else. When I was a child, I thought like a child, I acted like a child. But when I became an adult, I put away childish things.
Which means you have to work on yourself. If you're busy working on yourself, what are you reading? What are you listening to? And ask yourself the question, who is that to tell me who I am? I know who I am in Christ. I know what I look like. I know what I'm about. I feel good about myself, and I'm not going to let anybody or anything tell me any different.
What about when couples can work together in business and produce movies? I mean, some people say, I see enough of my wife during the day. I want to have my own career totally separate. But your generation is different.
Well, we've been working together now for over 20 years. For those who don't know, I'm a motivational speaker, and she worked in Capitol Hill. And one day I said, I need somebody to help me, so I recruited her, really sold her on leaving her good government job, come work with me. And now we work together, we travel together, and this book is our first book together, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And it's our
Because our son said we needed to write the book.
Yeah, so we wrote the book. Book is now second printing, and it's doing great. And we do all of this together. We travel together where my speeches, whether they're domestic or global, she travels with me. She runs everything behind the scenes. So we work together and we enjoy time together because we like being together. It goes back to the
like
principles.
each other. Best friends.
Friends first. And there's a little quote in here that Ann Armstrong, you really inspired me about. You asked about what about the kind of person? In the book, there's a piece from Zig Ziglar, who was one of my mentors. He said, I don't know whether you're going to be married the right person or the wrong person, but I do know that if you marry the wrong person and you treat that person right, that could have been a right person. Well, on the other hand, if you marry the right person and you treat that person wrong, you certainly might have ended up marrying the wrong person. So whether you marry the right person or the wrong person is primarily up to you.
Wow.
Isn't that a great quote?
That's a great insight.
Yeah, that's a great quote.
One of the things I'm hearing from this conversation is that if you can conquer the three things that stand out in marriage, the sex, the money, and the communication.
That's right.
If you can sort of get your arms around those three things, and I know you all are not too old to talk about sex.
We ain't too old to talk about sex. Absolutely not.
And I know you can talk about money and communicate, but talk about those three issues. Those are the three issues that usually bring about the breakdown and the dissolving of a marriage, Kobe.
Chapter number 8 is sex, headaches, and other lies. We learned that one of my friends was married, and her mother on her wedding day told her, now baby, remember this, never tell that lie that you had a headache, because when you tell that lie you had a headache, remember there's a woman somewhere with an aspirin in her pocketbook. And so first is sex, then money. That money is important, but the important one is communication. Words. Watch your words. What we've learned to do, watch our words, because words are like toothpaste. They come out of the tube and you can't put them back. So be careful of your words. Always speak words of love. If you have something you're questioning in your mind, think about it before you say it, because we've learned that the words are powerful and they last. So we've been working together for all these years.
Listen, question, clarify.
Listen,
goes with that.
what we talk about, listen, question, clarify. And then the 4 F's that we write about in the book are be friendly. When you have difficult conversations, be frank, tell how this made me feel, be fair, listen, and then be focused on a win-win. We're in this to win it together.
Well, listen,
Good advice.
I can't think of all of you examples, prime-time examples of marriage, communications, thought leaders, movie producers. You got to go out and see that movie on First Lady in theaters this weekend. And we'll be back with much more books. Roger Stone,
JollyMarriage.com.
and News of the Day.
Tell them to go to JollyMarriage.com.